Hi and welcome to my place. If you're new to gardening, then I am here to help. Now, I've been gardening for probably about 50 of my 60 years. I learnt to garden from my nan, and because I had to stay close to my mother as a child, I'm really pleased that I did spend that time because I can grow whatever I want to grow and it's not that hard, but I know that there's a whole generation of you out there that are new to it. So without clapping on any further, let's just start. The first thing I want to show you how to do is to grow microgreens, and I call this my kitchen bench or my kitchen windowsill gardening. Really, really easy to provide yourself with your own highly nutritious microgreens. You can get all of the material that I'm using today from the garden shop or your garden centre, and you know, once you get into it, it is so self-satisfying and it saves a lot of money. Now, the first thing I want to introduce is these little things here. They are called Jiffy pots, and basically what they are is compressed peat, which is really good for holding moisture, and it's also got a little bit of soil in there which has got some added nutrients. All you're basically going to do is to drop that into the water, and that will swell up to about that size. Now that is what we're going to use as our little bed or to grow our microgreens. Now, the next thing that you need is a thing like this. If you haven't got access to the proper germinating and propagating little beds that you can buy, I find these, I buy my strawberries in this, and the great thing is that they've got the little drainage holes in the bottom, and they've also got a little lid on there, which will mean that your little microgreens, which are going to be like little babies when they start germinating, are going to have a nice warm environment. And then once they get up, you can, to about that high, you can actually, that's a centimetre, so you can actually take the lid off, and you've got a really nice environment, a nice clean environment in which to grow your plants to continue growing on the windowsill. Now, the next thing you need to do is, once that they have sort of puffed up, is to, I use a handy towel onto a plate here because I don't want a mess. And this is the little pods all sort of puffed up. So pretty much what I do, it also comes with this little sacky thing that looks like a mesh bag that actually looks like a tea bag. That will break down, but for today's purposes, it's going to be much easier to just dump that. And then it takes, for this size container, you need 2 of these, but you know, you could be frugal and just use 1, but for today's purposes, I'm just gonna have 2. Now put those into the base of your container or whatever you're going to grow it in. And you do need the drainage holes, because if you wouldn't like wet feet all the time, then these little plants or seedlings don't like to have wet feet either. So just press that down into there so that you've got a nice bed. In fact, I'll just lay that down a little bit more. And the thing is with the peat, it's going to, I've got dirty hands now. The thing with the peat is it's going to stay wet for quite some time. Now these are some of the seeds that you can buy. You'll see that if you're stuck and don't know where they are, just ask the merchant or the assistant at the garden centre or shop where to buy your microgreens, and they are so incredibly cheap, these things. Right, so opening that, and then the next thing I want to say to you is that when you're scattering these, just think that you were putting some garnishing, like some salt and pepper over whatever you were eating. So it's just a fine little sprinkling of that over the top of that, like so. So you probably can't see that very well, but it just looks like like pepper is over the surface of that peat mix down the bottom there. The next thing to go on top of that is the vermiculite, which is sort of a highly absorbent sort of fibery thing that looks a little bit like sand and a little bit of pumice and or what the cat, you know, the kitty litter stuff, but it's highly absorbent. And it also keeps the moisture in, so it's just a matter of a little sprinkling of that over the top of your little seeds. Put that to one side, and then what I do is I just give it a little, just scatter those seeds so that it is the vermiculite, so's that, vermiculite, let's get it right, over the top of that. And the next thing to do is to just finely mist the surface like so, and keep that moisture in there all of the time, put your lid on it and then leave that on the windowsill with just, you know, it needs some light but not direct sunlight. And remember that they're like little babies, so you don't want these to be getting too hot. And you just leave those in there until they come up about, a good centimetre, I suppose. I cut the lid off, or you can put just take the lid off it and then just leave those. And when you want to garnish or add some microgreens to your salad, you just snip those and then put those on top of your salad or whatever you want them for, and then re-moist, put the lid on it, and they will come back again. I just love that continuous gardening on the windowsill. I hope I've been of assistance to you newbie novice gardeners. For those of you who have been growing for quite some time, why don't you just drop by and add some comments so that the newbie gardeners can get some sage advice from you guys that have been planting and growing things for years. I hope I've been of assistance. If there is anything else that I can help you with, please drop me a line at astarsplace@gmail.com and I will be sure to help where possible. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you another day.